There we go. So yeah, you guys are heading from the Marathon to Moana 3 via shuttle. If someone wants to name the shuttle, they can. Although I just call them shuttles usually, unless it's like a runabout. Um, I definitely am going to need Lieutenant Veth, the pilot, to make a piloting check. I will roll for the shuttle to assist. It's going to be control and security. Or no, control and con. Sorry. I'm just used to security.
I got a 16 and a 1. The 16 does not pass.
Okay, so you got 2 successes. I'm going to say difficulty is 1, so you guys get a momentum. Whoever wants to keep track of that can do that. Move the shuttle up here so it's easy to find. And what was it? Engines and con. Alright, so you guys get two momentum because the shuttle also got a success. So yeah, the atmosphere, it's Class M planet. You know, it's an ocean world, so the atmosphere isn't horribly turbulent. It's basically kind of just similar to Earth. Maybe some minor turbulence, but other than that, everything looks fine. By the way, if you ever see me like, well, if you're paying attention, I don't know who is, but if you ever see me on the camera turn on the mute on my headset, that's because there's someone physically in the room. So that I'm either talking to them or waiting for them to leave. But anyway, so you guys are coming to the. I'll show you the map. So the map of the shore where the runabout is landed. Who wants to give me a sensor scan? This isn't going to tell you a whole lot more than what you got with the Marathon sensor scan because you did a pretty decent scan before. However, it will probably, because you're closer, give you more information about the shuttle itself, the runabout itself, and any life forms or life signs.
Did somebody say sensors? Okay.
Yeah.
Reason science?
Reason science, yep. And if someone can roll for the ship, I'm kind of looking through my notes for a second, or I will do it. It'd be sensor science.
Sure, I'll do it.
You know the difficulty in advance, or is it scaling?
We'll just say 1.
Okay, alright. I won't use anything fancy.
I got a 2.
Okay, so that's 1 success.
And 1 success from Dolsky.
Alright, so you guys get another momentum. I think I'm looking too far back in my notes. Yeah, there it is. Actually, I think I might have told you everything because you guys spent momentum. So basically what you determine from the scan of the runabout is there's nobody inside, obviously, which I think you guys knew from before. There is what looks to be the beginnings of transporter modifications. I will let you if you want to obtain spend a momentum. Actually, you're a science officer, so you can actually get a free question if you want to know what the modifications look like they're actually trying to do, like what they were trying to modify them for.
Well, I think that would be a sensible question because it implies that there's some kind of extra security or interference that we might need to be aware of ourselves. So yeah, I'll ask that.
So the bubble, the shield, quote unquote, surrounding the underground or the underwater city is not there to defend against energy weapons, and it's only mildly preventive against transporters. It's mainly there to keep the water out and to scatter sensors and stuff like that. So basically it looks like whoever flew this runabout was attempting to modify the transporters to be able, the transporter sensors at least, to be able to adequately ensure that if that person transported, or people, could be multiple people, transported into that underwater city, that they wouldn't, accidentally have their atoms scattered across the ocean floor or something like that. So it looks like those modifications were started, so they definitely didn't go yet. But your sensors detect a lot of life signs, on the surface of the planet. Not a lot. Probably like, I would say 24 life signs scattered throughout this small island. But they're not telling you like what they are. I mean, for all you know, they could be some kind of alien raccoon, or bird or something. However, if you want to spend a momentum, you can ask for more specific information.
Yeah, I kind of want to sit on it, but I'm open to what the rest of the team says.
The more we know.
Yeah, I'm happy to spend the momentum if other people want to know.
Okay.
Do it.
So you are detecting 24 humanoid life signs, but humanoid life signs, but most of them are like on the far side of the island. Most likely they don't even know you're here. However, there are a few closer to that runabout, and it looks like they're moving towards the runabout. You're detecting 2 Romulans, 2 humans, and a Breen, or at least somebody in a Breen suit, as well as 1 Trill.
Heading towards the runabout.
Yep. Like, if you're looking at the Roll20, where you guys, like, it doesn't really matter where you land. If you land behind the runabout, then they're coming from they're coming from the opposite direction that you are. So it would be to your right, to your, what's that, east? They're
East, yeah.
Yeah, and they're heading in that direction. I'm assuming you inform Commander Locke, the away team leader, about that?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Well, he's going to say, that may as well be, but we do have a mission to investigate, so we're going to get into cover once, whether that's this shuttle or some shrubbery or boulders or something. We're going to get into cover and look and just see what's going on, do some more scans with tricorders, but we need to get into that runabout. And he is going to have, who did I say was coming for security? I believe it was Ashlyn. Yeah, Centurion, Ashlyn, and Locke are going to go first to kind of scout out the area, and then he wants Lex and Veth behind him, and then behind them Engstrom and Vosky, to kind of ensure that their scientists aren't easily eliminated from what's coming in front of them. Your sensors don't detect anything behind you guys, so you guys should be good as far as that goes. Let's see. Alright, so I'm going to say there's shrubbery over here, so the security-minded individuals are kind of moving to cover here. If you guys can move your tokens, if you cannot move your tokens, let me know. But if you can, go ahead.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, place your...
I've got Beth out there.
Okay. Yeah, place... Where do you... Well, so, where's Lex? I don't think... I'll grab Lex. Oh, there he is. So, basically, if you're... Yeah, Lex, that's fine, that's good. I'll say Beth is with you. And then Engstrom... Or not Engstrom. Vosky is kind of down there, okay. And then... Okay, so you guys are staying in the bushes. Smart. And feel free to stay by the shuttle if you want to. Alright. So, at first, you guys don't see anything. I mean, the sensors are obviously way more powerful than your eyeballs and your ears. However, gradually, you start to hear weapons fire. From the east, you guys actually make a insight security. This is your basic perception roll, so everyone can do it. I will roll for Locke as well, just to maybe get more info. You just need a 1 success. Oh wow, some of y'all overdoing it.
Overdoing it over here too. I got a 1 and an 8.
Nice. So that's 3 successes. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5 momentum plus 3. So you guys are already at full 8 momentum. So basically you all see, and you can use momentum to obtain information. So, for example, if I tell you what you see, you can then spend that momentum to ask questions. But you do see that trill is... You see a trill. You can't tell which trill. Actually, yes, you can, because if you can spot its spots, you can tell who it is. Let's see. Let me grab the NPC. You see a familiar trill, Ensign Crescent from the alcove, running. Behind him are the 2 Romulans, 1 Breen, and 2 humans. However, the 2 humans, or what your scanners are picking up as humans, both have the same face. The teenager that some of you guys saw at various times throughout this campaign. I don't think you all saw him at the same time, mainly due to well, actually, yeah, you probably did in that one session where you guys went to Mariposa. Let's see, who else? Breen. Yep, 1 Breen. And he is running to the runabout. They are firing weapons. The 2 humans are not. The 2 twins are not firing weapons. However, the Breen and the Romulans are firing disruptors. And suddenly he gets kind of pinned. Before he can get to the runabout, he gets pinned behind some rocks and some shrubbery. It doesn't look like he has a weapon. Locke is going to... Now, because they're the security people, they're naturally going to want to open fire to protect this trill. However, I mean, this is an RPG, so I want to make sure that everyone is okay with that before I just, as the GM, unilaterally make a decision for these NPCs. Is everyone okay if he opens fire on the Romulans and the Breen?
Do you ask us all to wear body armor before taking us down?
I mean, you guys can. Just add 1 to resistance.
That's what I would have done.
I think resistance body armor standard is 2, but
2,
yeah.
That's fine, yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so if nobody objects, then Locke is going to open fire first, and he is going to fire knowing what that is. Well, knowing... He's weirded out that there's 2 of them, but he knows what one of them is, so he is going to open fire at that first, the teenager. Which seems odd, but... Let's see, control, security. Does he hit? Oh wow, he hits. So, and again, if you guys want to spend momentum to obtain more information about what's going on, you may. But he does hit him square in the chest, and instead of rolling a bunch of damage dice, I'm just going to say he is stunned. So now it is the enemy's turn. I'll move them back a little bit. I think the Breen is going to move forward and open fire. Now it's all the way down here. Alright, he hits Locke in the arm. I do have to roll damage for that, unfortunately, because it's a friendly NPC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus vicious. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 9 damage minus 2 is 7. So he gets a burn, a scorch mark in his shoulder, and he kind of collapses. Ugh. Groans in pain. Well, at least we know what Engstrom will be doing this turn, or this round. Alright, so now you guys can decide who you want to go first. Do you want Ashlyn to go, or do one of you have an idea of what you guys want to do?
I say go for the Breen, but I want to be last.
Okay. Anyone else?
Vosky, no, Vosky's happy to let the more combat-orientated people take the lead.
Okay. In fact, actually...
Engstrom's just hoping to heal when there's a break in the fire.
Well, if you want, you can kind of... As long as your character stays low to the ground relatively, you can move towards Locke and begin the healing process. Just roll a... We'll say fitness and medicine, because you've got to physically move over there and stay low and not... Actually, you know what? Control medicine is fine, because, you know, you've got to maintain control over your person, so to speak. So, control and medicine, it'll just be a difficulty 1. Alright, you get over there.
Successes,
And you can next turn start healing him. And you can tell that it's a superficial wound for the most part. Like, he's not going to die anytime soon from it. But he probably won't have full use of his shoulder for the rest of his life. Even though he is technically synthetic, it's basically burned through and through. Even if they replace the quote-unquote synthetic parts, it's still going to be different. So, now... So you went... Now it's their turn. The Romulan is going to open fire on the Trill still. I'll keep that. Yeah, that's fine. How? I literally made it like the lowest possible stats, and he's still got 3 successes. He fires at the Trill, and I'm going to have to... Which is Crescent. I need to stop calling him Trill, because he has a name. Roll some damage. If it will open. There we go. I'll just roll the Breen weapon. I already have that statted out. They're the same anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so he doesn't have body armor, so he also takes 7. He collapses with a disruptor burn to his back. Alright, so now it is your guys' turn. Unless you have anything that you want to do, I think Ashlyn is going to try to move forward to get a better lock on the Breen.
That seems sensible. All Vosky's planning on doing on his turn is area phasing, and you can do that at any time.
Yeah. I think the only reason why they haven't, Locke and Ashlyn haven't area phasered yet is just because Crescent was up and in the way. But now that he's down, they might as well. Yeah, she's going to probably do that too. Let's see what happens. Control and security, using her minor action to, do the, to set it so that it does the area. And if she gets any effects, then it works. So let's see. Yep, she did that. Now I just gotta roll phasers damage, which I did not include yet, so I will just go ahead and do that right now. I think it's the effect. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's an effect. Oh yeah, she got an effect, so 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. And I'm going to say she was aiming at these 2 because they're close-ish together. And they take 7. Well, he's got armor on, so his goes down to 5. Still a injury, though, so he goes kind of staggering back and falls into the sand. This guy basically is knocked unconscious. So that leaves 2 Romulans, and this guy is probably going to spend an action next turn to get up out of the sand, so he's down, but he's down for the moment. Alright, so now it's their turn. The Romulan is actually, I'm going to say, going to move around the runabout. That's his turn. So now he's got full cover. Alright, so Vosky or Lex?
Yeah, right. So Vosky will attempt an area phaser attack in this zone. I don't know how close together they have to be for you to consider it to be in the same area, but that kind of area. He's not naturally gifted, but this is in combat, and this is potentially very important. So for the cost of 1 momentum, which takes us down to
I think 7.
2, I believe.
Oh.
Okay, 7. So it takes us down to 6.
I thought you had
7.
8 last time. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
That is true. Yeah. So yeah, he'll take it down by. Sorry, my mistake. So yeah, it's 1 momentum to activate did the reading, which means he gets to roll off of science rather than security.
Nice.
And he counts as having a specialism. Here we go.
Ooh, excuse me.
I'm not going to consume any more dice. So actually, no, I will. I'll buy one more dice with momentum, so I'll take it to 6.
Okay.
So that gives me a thing.
Oh.
All right. Because I used a momentum spend on a science roll, I get a free roll of the complication.
Okay.
Cautious science. Fantastic.
Nice.
So that takes us to 4 over 2 on a 6 momentum spend, which takes us back up to 8.
Yep. All right.
And yeah, excellent. It hits and will do this much damage.
Probably it'll probably be enough to because the Romulan doesn't really have any armor, so it's
Yeah.
Okay.
My weapons damage still comes off the security stat, not the science stat. My security stat is 1.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But I got 2 effects, which is nice.
Yeah. So basically, they are stunned, but they can recover next round. They're going to miss a turn, basically. But they are basically, more than likely, they won't even get to their turn. Just as a curiosity, I'm going to check your phaser stats, because it looks really low, even for type 1 phaser 2. Shouldn't it be 2 plus?
Using the 2.
Oh, yeah, okay. So it's 3. Okay, gotcha. Alright, so they're kind of stunned. So basically, they're going to use the Romulan. Actually, I'm gonna skip those guys and go back to this guy. He's gonna move over here, get into kind of position to, kneeling to kind of take aim at you guys over here. So that leaves Lex. You're up next.
Do I see that Romulan from where he is right now?
Roll insight security. It's going to be opposed, obviously, because, he's trying not to be seen. He's going to roll presence and security, which also is horrible, because it's a 9, just like his... Yeah, so you just need 1 or more. Basically, just don't crit fail. Okay, and you get a momentum. So you have a bonus momentum. But yeah, so you notice, like, his leg sticking out the front of the... Or you actually look under the shuttle, the runabout, and can see his boots, so, yeah.
I'm gonna shoot his leg.
Alright, control and security. I'm gonna say it's increased difficulty though, because you're trying to shoot under the vehicle at a smaller target, so it is difficulty 3.
Okay, I'm gonna use the bonus momentum plus the momentum to do this. Yeah.
Okay. Whoa. So you get 2 momentum back, so I think that puts you back to where you were. 8 plus 1 bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shoot him in the leg, now roll damage. Depending on how much damage you get, he might just slam forward and hit his forehead on the runabout and get knocked unconscious. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, he's fucking out. Like, you have a disruptor, so he's probably on the verge of death. Alright.
Yep.
So you did that. So now this guy is going to... Actually, no, this guy, because he went down first, is going to spend his turn to get up, the brain. So now it is Veth, your turn. Tolly.
Alright, I want to try to fire at the Breen.
Alright. Control and security, difficulty 2.
And I want to buy an extra dice.
Okay, yep, you got the bonus momentum, I think, still, so that should put you guys down to 8.
Two successes so far.
Alright.
And a 2.
Alright, so you guys get a momentum back again. You're staying up above 8, and you manage him. So that means, let me just check the phaser. So let's see, it would be, what's your security score?
It's a 3, I think. Hold on, let me relook.
And I think phasers are normally 4, right?
So it depends what type it is. If it's a Type 2 phaser, I think it's usually plus security, but I'm going to double check that.
Yeah. We're so not used to using phasers. We're so used to talking our way out of things.
Basically, it's usually 2+ year thing.
Oh, it's 2? Okay. I thought it was...
For Type 1s, definitely.
Yeah, for Type 1.
For Type 1s.
For Type 2, and I don't know what... Because I think the differential is the rank. So, like, if he's a junior lieutenant, then it would be a Type 1. If he's a full lieutenant, then it would be Type 2. Either way, I would just say go ahead and roll 7 dice and see what they... Tell me what they land on.
I've got it here. So a phaser Type 2 ranged...
Yeah, sorry,
damage
a D6.
3.
So 3?
Okay.
Yeah, so
3 plus
6.
security, yeah.
Yeah, so roll 6 dice.
Alright.
6d6.
Got a 5.
Okay.
Got a 4. Got a 4. Got a 1. Got a 6. Got a 4.
Okay. 3 of those were nothings. 1, 2, 3. So 3 damage. And which one you firing at the Breen, you said?
The Breen.
Okay. So yeah, he takes 3 damage, and I'm going to say that puts him down permanently. Alright, so now it's their turn. He's unconscious because he hit his head, so the Romulan's going to spend his turn to get up. And basically, Crescent is yelling, like, what is going on? Alright, so now it is back to Locke's turn, but he can't do much because he's hurt. So, Angstrom, do you want to do your healing thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will go ahead and do that.
You can use Control, Reason, or Insight in Medicine, whichever you want.
Control.
Okay. And I think if I remember correctly, the amount of successes equals the amount of stress he gets back. So
I think he's getting 3 stress back.
Yeah, so he's back on his feet, and he'll be going on his next turn. Alright, so now it's their turn again. The Romulan is actually going to run up towards Crescent, kind of like he's trying to grab him to use him as a human shield. Alright, so unless you guys have any argument, actually Lex might want to do this because he has the disruptor, but basically Ashlyn has a disruptor too, but either one of them, what I had planned was she was gonna like sniper him as he was reaching down for Crescent, but if Lex is better at that kind of thing, maybe Lex should do it. What do you think, Matt?
Let me figure out. I think Ashlyn would have a better advantage than Lex because they would respond better to.
Yeah.
They would respond to her pretty easier than say Lex because he's a.
Yeah, she's got a security of 4.
Half-breed.
So.
To them, he's a half-breed.
Well, I'm just talking about shooting him. I'm not talking about intimidating him.
Yeah.
Although she is also at least your character is half Reman and half Romulan. She's part Romulan, part Reman, and part Deltan. So she is not even a half-breed. But she's going to try to shoot. How about if she shoots and fails, then we'll have your character try to maybe intimidate him, maybe order him to stand down. Because as far as your scanners are telling you, they're just Romulans. It's not like there's any genetic issues with them like with the previous ones. But she's going to attempt to sniper. Do we have any... I'm going to use that bonus momentum to get another dice because I really want to take him down with this one disruptor shot. Oh, wow. Yeah, I think she does. So, let's see. Let me look at the distance and everything. Well, the difficulty was 3 because Crescent was partially in the way. So, you guys get back 2 momentum. So now you have 2 bonus momentum on top of your 8. But let's see what her damage does. Like I said, he's probably going down. I don't see this ending. Actually, yeah, she had a disruptor. Why did I write phaser? So any effects would be more damage.
Vicious one.
Yeah. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, he's down. He just goes you see a greenish bloody phaser burn on his forehead, and his head snaps back and he falls dead. All right, so Crescent, seeing that, screams and just runs kind of not towards you, but towards you, like in your direction, but more staying along near his runabout. And he kind of gets to the door but doesn't go in, and he kind of looks to you guys and says, "Are you?" And he kind of points at you accusingly. "Who are you? Are you really you?" I'm going to say, just for the sake of convenience, that Locke is he's physically fine, but he's walked over to the shuttle to lean on it to recover. So if anyone else wants to answer, you can.
Yes. The last time I checked, I was me.
Well, nowadays you never know. We are not ourselves. Not all of us. If it's really you, how did we first meet? There was this Trill freighter, the SS Bandar. When you helped my captain defend against Orion pirates, what was my colleague's name? The Klingon engineer. So this is kind of like what I guess this game would call a puzzle. You kind of have to figure out the right answer to be able to proceed. Does anybody have the correct answer? It's kind of like a memory puzzle, I guess.
Yeah, I don't remember her name. I just remember that it was a she.
I'm in a similar position.
Okay. Well, if you want to spend a momentum, and I think you guys are with bonus now, then
Yeah,
you can have it.
I don't mind spending.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
well worth it.
Yeah, your memory kicks in.
Totally do it.
Yeah, your memory kicks in, and you're like, oh yeah, that was Klingon engineer Grelba. But then you also remember, you weren't on a Trill freighter. You were on the IKS Alkuv, which is a Klingon space station. And you weren't defending against Orion pirates. You were defending against a Breen ship. And so which one of you wants to clarify this to earn this person's trust? I'll give you a clue. Someone should have a good presence. Nobody has good presence?
Mine's a 9.
Mine's a 9.
Oh, wow.
Mine is a 7.
Oh dear.
Yeah, Ashland's
Oh,
is a
God,
presence of 7 too, so I guess it's the 9 that's gonna, one of the 9s. Did you say you had 9 too, Mac?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have the talent empathy or empath?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you advantage. So if you want to roll, it was going to be contested difficulty. I'm going to make it a flat difficulty of 1. So you just need to get 1 success to convince him. Basically, you're reading his emotions, so you're able to kind of figure out exactly what to say. He's definitely... Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah.
Do y'all want to do something with that moment or with that threat, that complication?
Can I re-roll that at a higher difficulty?
You mean can you re-roll the whole thing, or can you re-roll the complication?
Complication.
Yeah, at a higher complication range, you can re-roll it by spending the other momentum, which brings you down to 8. Okay, well, at least it wasn't a complication. So he doesn't flee like he was about to. You could see him about to run, but then he doesn't. But he still doesn't trust you. So he says, okay, one more. I have to be sure. The Alkuv, it was an Antares type vessel trapped in a space-time anomaly, and you answered our distress call. So one of you with the 9 of presence, if you have the answer to correct him, can roll and get 1 success. Whoever wants to do
Not
that.
Lex.
I mean,
Sure, we'll do it.
third time's a charm. No, all right, Tali, go ahead. Presence and command.
I got a 1.
Oh wow! So you guys get another bonus momentum. Well, actually, he's got to contest this one because you don't have empath. I'm pretty sure. Tellarites aren't empathic.
No, they're not.
Yeah, let's see. Crescent is gonna contest this with his insight and security. So you got 2 successes, and he's got, oh my god, he's got 3. So he basically is now at this point moving closer to the door of the runabout. You have not successfully convinced him. What do you guys want to do?
And I convince him that I try and convince him.
I mean, you can. He even if you have the right answer, he thinks that based on how long you took to answer, that you guys are just like accessing like genetic memories of the genetic people that that you guys copied, and he's definitely not trusting you because of just how long I guess it's taking you. Like, you got the right answers, he doesn't buy it. So how do you want to try to convince him?
She would be frustrated at that point.
I understand.
She'd remember from her other memory of having to convince someone else that she was who she was.
Yes, I remember.
Like, look, we're in the middle of a firefight here. So maybe that's what. So she's like, so what? Okay, we just saved your life. Are we? Do you really think that we're on opposite sides? We've answered your questions correctly. What more do you want from us?
You know what? That's definitely intimidation, and I'm guessing you don't have a focus in that. But you do have a focus in composure, so that would work. Roll a presence and command, and it's going to be still contested.
I'm going to spend some momentum on this as well.
Okay.
I'm going to use 2. So 2 dice extra.
Okay.
Wow. Nothing.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
This is comically bad, you guys. Like, I don't think this has ever happened before.
At least that only takes us
Basically, my character turns around and said, look, if we're the actual enemy, why would we actually stand here and bother trying to talk to you when we could have easily shot you, or even worse, kidnapped you before you even had the chance to say or do something? We're down here just to figure out what the heck is going on with this shuttle here. And we accidentally came across you. And put it this way, I remember you from 2 different realities. This reality of... And he says both of them. Can he actually,
So... You can succeed at cost. I'm going to take threat, but you guys have succeeded in convincing him at this point. However, since you did mention Kithel, the previous version of him, basically, for a moment, you see her face where his should be, and then it's gone again for like half a second. But he says, I'm sorry, I had to make sure. There's a lot of crazy things going on. That Federation outpost that I was taken to, it was just red tape, after medical examination, after debriefing. And to make it worse, I was ordered by both of our governments to return to Trill to answer even more questions. But I know things aren't right. These Breen pirates slaughtered my crew, and I want payback. Not to be on the sidelines. So I stole this runabout and headed for Dirakith's colony. But the Danaeus found me first. Commander Rusa understood the danger and my need for answers. And she took action, just like I did. But she needed help. Backup, so I told her where to find you. Did you two ever find each other and join forces?
Does he remember?
Yeah, their ship blew up. Ashlyn says, yeah, we tried, but when she sent us the information, somebody sabotaged the Romulan warbird and it exploded. And he goes, I see, they're everywhere. That's why I can't trust you. Or at least I couldn't. I had to make sure. I'm sorry. But what are you here for now? Probably not revenge.
He goes, points to the shuttle.
And Ashlyn says, we got information that this was the location of a secret hideout by the genetic augments. We're here to investigate. And he says, yes. Like I said, I got the information from the Danaeus. I found a frequency. If we can attune our transporters to that frequency, we can beam directly into their base without them even knowing. But I'm a security officer. I'm not an engineer. I would like some help if you don't mind, if that's where you intend to go.
Oh, something I can be useful for.
Great. And he pushes some buttons on the runabout, and the door opens, and he says, we have to be quick. Unfortunately, the transporter... Hold on, got to do some quick math. The transporter and the runabout can only take 5 people. So someone has to stay back. Locke is going to be like, well, I definitely think that Ashlyn should go with you guys. Crescent, I know you want payback, but it's not right. And then Crescent's like, well, I'm a security officer. I can also protect them. And after a moment, Locke concedes. Yeah, go ahead.
I can stay back because you're probably going to need someone to beam you up pretty quickly.
So do you want me to metagame a bit and tell you that that's going to be pointless, or do you just want to keep doing that? See, that's why I don't like these modular things, because if you stay here, you're not going to have anything to do for the rest of the session.
Engstrom will point out, too, that Locke right now is not going to be much help if more fighting comes up, because he's having his arm is going to need rest for X amount of weeks or whatever.
Yeah, Locke is definitely staying behind. It's just a matter of Ashlyn and Crescent, and if Lex wants to stay behind, he can. But like I said, Mac won't have anything to do for the rest of the session.
I can go if Locke is willing to stay behind.
And Crescent says, from what I've gathered from Danaeus, there are several engineering difficulties down in the underground city. They will probably need you, Lieutenant Colonel Lex. So who do you guys want to go with you? Crescent or Ashlyn? They're both security.
Ashlyn.
They both basically have the same stats. It's just a matter of who knows what and all that, and who you trust.
Ashlyn, and because the other dude's being shot.
Yeah, he did get injured slightly.
Yeah.
Is everyone okay with Ashlyn?
Engstrom's fine with Ashlyn, because Ashlyn trusted her already.
Alright. Then Crescent will reluctantly go back to the shuttle, basically to be arrested by Locke for stealing a runabout. Alright, so you guys get into the runabout, and Lex, I'm going to need a insight engineering to finish the modifications that Crescent started. It could be reason or insight, either one. It's going to be also a difficulty 3.
I'm going to use 2 momentum.
Okay.
Make my job easier.
The ship cannot assist with this, by the way, just so you know. However, if anyone has any decent engineering, you may assist.
Vosky's got.
Nice. 5 successes and a complication. What do you want to do about that complication?
I'm going to buy that off.
With 2
I'm just going to buy it off.
Okay. So 4, and it was difficulty. So you get 2 momentum, so that puts you up to 6. So you're at 7 momentum now. I hope my math is right. But yeah, you managed to get it.
Yeah.
All you have to do is actually transport. So Ashlyn looks around and says, is everybody ready?
Yep.
Alright.
Vosky nods.
She pushes up the little transporter thingy, and everyone beams underwater. I'm just gonna... If you can move your tokens. It doesn't really... The only reason we need... I don't have like a map actually for the underground city, so this is basically all you get. But the only reason you might need your tokens is either for combat, to see, where you guys are, or to see if you guys split up or anything like that. Otherwise, this is basically theater of the mind. So you guys transport into a corridor in the underwater city. I keep saying underground because that's the original module. In this ancient city, you guys are in a corridor, like I mentioned, and there in front of you is a stone door, and there is beside the door a control panel. What do you guys want to do?
I know what Lex is going to do.
What is Lex going to do?
He's going up to that control panel and hacking into that control panel.
Okay. When you touch it, nothing happens. As far as you can tell, it looks like a control panel, as in it's like a small stone pedestal that has like stone etchings on it, and it looks like a control panel, like something you would stand in front of and touch. But when you do that, nothing happens. When you look for like a panel to take off so that you can get inside its guts and do some rewiring, you find nothing. Anything else? Anyone else want to do anything?
When you say nothing, do you mean an empty box where stuff should be?
No, you just find a rock. It's just more stone. Okay. More. It's almost like it's a kind of like not a monument, but basically like a stone statue.
It's a model. Yeah.
It definitely looks like it's a panel. Like you can see etchings where it should have where it should look like buttons. It just looks like it's some kind of console that you guys are woefully unaware of or unprepared for. It's like something like you guys already know that this is Iconian tech, so could be something that just you guys physically can't touch or manipulate.
Yeah. On that theme, Oski's gonna scan it with his tricorder to see what it compares to relatively normal stone, to see if there's anything funky in there.
Okay. Roll reason and science, and difficulty is going to be 2.
Science difficulty 2. I'll consume 1 momentum. None of my talents are immediately useful, so here we go.
Nice.
Alright, so that's 2 on top, which takes us up to 8. Yep.
Alright, so tricorder scans detect no internal mechanism, but the scan itself has triggered a response. A glowing purple triangle faintly appears, as if etched into the stone. The tricorder reads a small chamber beyond the closed stone door, but when the lit triangle vanishes, so does your readings. So basically, when you scan it at first, like the first second, it just looks like it's a bunch of rock, and then the act of scanning it actually turns it into a console again. And so on the console, you see like a purple triangle appear, and then after a few seconds, it disappears, and so does the readings.
Okay. Oski will, shall we say, fix his sensor in scan mode for a while, so it just never fades. Or at least that's his hope, and that way the indicator will remain interactable for a while. We'll see what other people want to do with it.
I tell you what, there is something that you guys could spend momentum on to obtain information. If you want to just spend 1 momentum, I'll give you that plus the thing that you guys would want to know about.
That'd be useful.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will also give you then, for 1 momentum, so you have a scan actively going that will always open doors for you. I will also tell you that there is a security protocol in effect, but you don't know how to, disable it yet. Basically, whenever you do run the scan, Vosky, it tells you, there's an alarm system, there's a security protocol, and then once the scan goes away, so does the readings of the security protocol. But you're not really sure what the security protocol is, other than that there is one. So it's up to you guys how you want to deal with that. And yes, this is in the book. I know it doesn't make sense, but that's how they wrote it. So. Oh, and I should give you one more bit of information, because this will probably help you with that. On the control panel that you guys are looking at with these etchings of shapes and stuff, the triangle that lit up on the doorway matches the triangle that lit up on the console. And there are other shapes other than just the purple triangle, so that will probably help a lot.
My guess is, can we do a scan to see what language it is?
Yeah, you can
If
do
it is.
Sorry, you can do an insight science, and this will not only tell you the language, but also decipher the symbols. And it will be a difficulty
Yeah.
of 3. So the tricorder has no idea what the hell the symbols are because they're just shapes to the tricorder.
Okay, can
If
I
it's-
use...
Carry on.
I'm gonna use true momentum because my character does have a focus in linguistics.
Okay. What about Vosky? Do you have a focus that
Yeah.
would apply?
So in terms of foci that would apply, possibly xenobiology, although that's more biology than culture. And his insight science would be a combined 16.
Yeah, and what's Lex's?
Only 13.
How about Lex
With a
assists
focus.
with his focus? Because I could see him like leaning over Vosky's shoulder and be like, "Oh yeah, that button means that," and stuff like that.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
is xenobiology going to count as a
Yes.
foci or not?
I think so. Yeah.
It will. Excellent. I'll consume 1 momentum. Since this is a fresh kind of task, I don't have the ability to activate any talents, so here's the main roll. Oh,
I don't even
excellent.
help.
Oh, okay. Well, you should roll anyway, just in case. Oh, you already did. Okay. And don't forget, you guys did use a momentum. So you guys
Yep,
should be at
and
7.
it was difficulty, I think.
Because you remember I just gave you
Difficulty
the two information, so
Yeah.
the 2 bits of information. So let's see, difficulty
So that
3,
takes it back up to 8.
8. Yep. So as you're doing both, you're like looking at your tricorder, you're trying to look at these symbols. Obviously, they're just shapes. It doesn't make any sense. Geometry. Why would they include that in their language? Blah blah blah. But you do realize that if you have the tricorder scan going and it activates the door, at the same time, if you press down on some of the shapes, it will deactivate the security protocol. But you have to have that scan going at the same time.
Alright, Vosky will relay that to the team and he'll indicate the various necessary symbols to deactivate that protocol. And I'm assuming there's an order that's important as well. So,
Yeah, but I'm just gonna assume once you know the order, you just put it in. You don't have to roll anything.
Yeah.
And does everyone? And Ashland's gonna once that's done, basically once you enter the correct sequence of symbols, the purple triangle on the stone door appears again, but it becomes brighter and it hums with energy, and then the stone inside the shape of the triangle becomes translucent. And your tricorder tells you that its molecular structure has changed, allowing you to pass through it into the chamber. Do you guys proceed?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
Ashlyn heads in. Once inside, the chamber begins to move. It is a lift, and now it is descending deeper into the complex. Alright. The lift comes to a stop, and a large triangle hums to life on one of the walls, revealing an exit to a corridor beyond. The corridor is illuminated by smaller glowing triangles along the walls by the ceiling. Ahead, at the end of the hall, are 2 doorways. On the door to the left is a blue square. On the right-hand entrance is a yellow circle. And this hallway is probably like 50 feet, so it's not that long, so I'm going to say Ashlyn kind of draws her disruptor and just goes ahead of you guys and just looks back at you and says, "Stay vigilant, but stay behind me," and then proceeds forward towards these 2 doors. Alright, now you come to these doors, and I need everyone to make an insight and then whatever the hell they want for the next one. If it's medicine, engineering, security, whatever, you can roll it. And that it might give you some information. Yeah. So basically, there's these shapes on these doors, but they don't tell you what the shapes mean. The shapes do not match the shape and colors that you guys found on the console. So they're probably more of a sign to tell you what's behind the doors rather than how to get through the doors.
and what's the difficulty?
It's going to depend on what you roll. So for science, it's going to be 1 because you've already done some of it before with the other console. For engineering, it's going to be 1 as well for the same reason. For security, it's going to be 2 because you kind of want to know what's behind the doors. For con, I'm going to say 2 as well
Or
because it's more of kind of like you're trying to move through this underground structure and you don't really know anything about it, so it's kind of difficult. And then for medicine, it's going to be 4 because there's almost nothing you could discern from a medicine roll in this case. But if you want to roll science, you can.
Got double 2s.
Nice. Alright, so...
Sounds like 2 successes there.
Yep. And you rolled Insight Science, nothing from Engineering. Alright, so... what you can determine from the yellow circle to the right is it just means power. You're not really sure what context, but it means power to whatever precursor civilization was here. The blue square means knowledge. So Ashlyn looks to you guys and says, which one?
Okay. When they say power, I'm assuming they mean power as in force, not electricity.
You have no way of knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know if it's going to be power as in...
So I will give Engstrom...
That's interesting because it means the Iconian language has got the same linguistical twork.
But for the sake of the game, they mean the same thing. So I will tell Engstrom, because Engstrom did get 1 more success than she needed for her science roll. I will say...
It's kind of an irony that the medical officer did better at science than the science officer.
Yeah.
Although I did, in Engstrom's backstory, I did say that at one point she had been at an Iconian dig site, so maybe that factors in a little bit.
Yeah, so good point. I completely forgot about that. So yeah, then you would know the more, what's the word I'm looking for? Not intricacies, but kind of the more detailed aspects of this language, because it's not just a language. It's kind of like, when you're driving your car and you see a sign and that sign means something, but it's more of an abstract meaning rather than telling you like specifically what to do. That's kind of what these signs are doing. It's more of like a, the aspect of knowledge is a broad aspect, obviously. So is the aspect of power. So knowledge, you think, is more of like a library, kind of like a receptacle of knowledge. Like you go here to learn things and then you leave, rather than like this will download knowledge into your brain or something like that. It's probably closer to like an actual physical place that you go to learn things. The power is probably a more akin to a power source rather than strength of power or anything like that. Still, you guys can decide which door to go, and you don't have to go to just one. You can go to both if you want to. Just pick one to go to first.
Lex is curious about both.
I vote. Yes, curious about both, but I'm thinking knowledge first because that might help us with the power later.
Okay. Anybody else? This is where I didn't write it down because it was a lot, so I will just open the book.
The only other thought that Engstrom would have is whether the knowledge or the power is more likely to have anyone guarding it.
Yep.
More the power.
Actually, you know what? Let me roll security for Ashlyn because that's a good question. And if Ashlyn gets a decent score, then she might know something. Or not know something, but suspect something. Yeah, she's going to say, if Romulans have anything to do with this place, they're going to have guards in the power place, but probably will ignore the knowledge or the library. So you guys want to go into the library first?
Seems wise.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Just reading through real quick. You step into an empty pyramid-shaped chamber. And this is after you've done the same thing with the tricorder and the buttons and all that stuff. Small niches line the smooth stone walls. These dusty, shallow recesses hold palm-sized pyramids, all sculpted from an unknown metal. Since you have your tricorder going at all times, I'll go ahead and give you some information. These objects are solid, and they contain no known mechanism, though they emit an energy signature like a battery. So, what do you want to do?
We can't gain access to them. Lex is just gonna take them all.
Yeah, they're just sitting there like on shelves and in like recesses in the wall, basically. You can grab them if you want.
Yeah, Lex is just gonna grab him if no one's actually gonna be able to try and crack it, so he can try and crack it later.
As soon as
are we talking there are like 6 of these, thousands of these?
Probably a couple hundred, probably not thousands, but definitely more than a few. So I'm going to say since something does happen as soon as Lex touches it, and Lex is the first person that does it, so as soon as you pick it up, the pyramid glows blue in your hand, the light flickers and sputters as if the mechanism was damaged, and then images flood into your mind at an alarming rate, depicting millions of people dying in an orbital bombardment on some distant planet, though some survived by stepping through a gateway to Moana 3. And then the images fade. Oh, sorry. Also, you must roll control or fitness and security with a difficulty of 3 to avoid taking damage. I don't know why they included that way after.
Control
or fitness, yep, and security. Difficulty 3.
It's difficulty 3?
Yep. I would use momentum.
Yeah, I'm gonna use momentum.
Okay.
How much?
1.
Okay.
Ooh. We are really close to the end. Do you want to use a determination to re-roll it? Or do you want to just take 3 damage?
Yep.
Okay. What value or directive are you calling upon? Or challenging? I think trust tools over people.
Yeah.
Work. Yeah.
He's gonna do that. Trust tools over people's work.
All right. Re-roll that. That's worse somehow. Yeah. So your trust in tools did not work out. So you take 3 stress. Yeah, you guys see him like as Lex picks up this device, his head snaps up and his eyes go wide, and for like 3 seconds he just doesn't move, and then all of a sudden he just collapses to his knees, breathing heavily.
Are you okay?
Ow! That hurt.
What?
So I think, hurt. It actually hurts.
It's just as a clarification, it does hurt a bit, makes you exhausted and stings, but it's mostly mental strain and exhaustion that it's causing. Also, once this happens, the device flickers and it just fails. Like, it's just offline now.
He puts it in a bag.
You put it in a bag? Is that what you said, or you put it back?
He just puts it back. He goes,
oh, okay.
On that note, touching it activates it.
We can still harvest these devices. We simply have to avoid touching them directly. Given appropriate time, that will not be difficult.
If I can grab and put them in a box, or...
I mean, did y'all bring anything like that with you besides like a medical and engineering kit? Because I'm pretty sure it won't fit in those.
Oh no, we'd need to source that from somewhere, but this is a big place. We could find it.
Yeah, maybe in the power room next door. In fact, does anybody touch any of the other devices in the walls?
Not for the moment, but what Vosky will do is, sort of near the door, he'll look to see if there are any that like slightly stand out or are in a slightly different position. Because what he's looking for is the equivalent of the index cards, the key to the library that shows where various things are, by what category, etc.
There probably is something like that, but you don't find it. Because the book doesn't tell me. I would also say... Oh, go ahead.
Lex goes, I think this section where I picked up the device is dedicated to destruction or the war.
Makes sense.
Perhaps history.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Because I saw an orbital bombardment of a planet and they went through an iconic gate. So I think these may be the iconic, the people. Iconics?
Yeah, Iconians. Probably one of their colonies that they fled to after their world's destruction.
I'm going to assume that tricorders effectively have an inbuilt camera.
Sure.
Like that has to be one of their various sensor abilities.
Yeah.
So he'll take photographs and then he'll like make a note. This section, possibly history. But yeah, so we can come back and unpick this later.
Okay. And do you guys head... Oh, well, I'll say this. As soon as you guys are done with that, Ashland's like, alright, let's go to the power room, and then leaves. Does anyone want to stay behind?
Yeah, I want to touch one before I go. Just kind of like on my way out of the door, if there's any...
I guess maybe Engstrom needs to stick around.
Okay, so...
Basically,
Just in case.
random section other than the history section.
Random section? Okay. So, when you walk over and kind of tentatively put your hand on it to test it out, nothing happens.
I pick it up and grab it by both hands.
Nothing happens.
Or a different say.
No matter how many more you touch, nothing happens.
Okay, he's gonna put it back down and walk out of the room.
You've
Weird.
used all the battery power, apparently. What was you going to say, Lex? Mac, you there? Thought you were going to say something.
Yeah, he just walks out of the room.
Okay. Alright, so you guys leave and head towards the power room, I assume.
Yep.
Control panels like the one at the access point cover the walls of this pyramid-shaped chamber. You have your tricorder going, so I'll give it to you for free. There is no circuitry of any kind, but the chamber is somehow drawing geothermal energy from the planet's core, and it is powering the deflector shield around this underwater city. It wants me to tell you to deactivate the shield, but I don't recommend that. I think because it doesn't think that it's underwater in this version, so.
Yeah,
but if you guys want to,
you know how many people might die if we do that.
Yeah, if you guys want to, I won't stop you.
I don't recommend disabling this deflector shield.
No, I'm not gonna deactivate that.
Deactivating that is very much the... this is an out-of-character comment. Is very much the... They have annoyed us, everyone here has to die. Wipe the whole thing out option.
Including ourselves. And the lights abruptly dim. And the hum of energy grows louder, as if a switch has been flipped. A voice echoes through the complex in a mechanical tone. 5 intervals until the subspace portal generator is activated. All augments proceed to the portal room.
Augments?
Okay.
So
He counts how many people are...
At the back of the power room that you guys are in, there is another doorway with like a different unimportant symbol. So you may go that way if you want, or you can go back the way you came.
Lex counts how many people are in the group.
5, remember, because the transporter pad mysteriously could only transport 5.
Oh. I think the mechanical voice is actually talking about us.
Are you augments? I did not know
Yeah,
this.
And we're not intervals either. Intervals are a unit of time, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. In fact, intervals, every 2 tasks is an interval. Speaking of which, roll Insight Security so we can get through one of those. Difficulty 3 for everybody.
Site security.
I am...
Is this a different scene to the combat scene from earlier?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. In that case, I'll consume 1 momentum to activate Did the Reading and make it Insight Science.
Oh, nice. The OP science officer.
This is difficulty 3, did you say?
Yep.
Yeah, difficulty 3.
I'll consume 1 additional momentum. All 3 dice.
This will
Here
give
we
you
go.
multiple information, so it's kind of important. It's not just
I'm
your
gonna
average perception check.
Use...
What was that? You kind of cut out there.
I'm gonna use a momentum.
Okay. Nice. So we have, let's see,
Hey.
just waiting on Engstrom and Tali.
I'm using 2 momentum.
Okay.
Oh! That takes us up to 4.
Right.
Difficulty was 3.
Yep.
Let me use
Yes.
2 momentum then.
Okay, so you roll 4 dice. It's a good idea.
A 4, a 9, and double 4s.
Okay, so that's 4. So you guys get another momentum. So you're up to 3, I believe. I don't know if I should put some of these puzzle pieces together for you, because I don't know if you guys remember some of the stuff that happened like 3 or 4 sessions ago. But I will tell you that, like, for the sake of, like, just to give you an idea of how much time you actually have, it's like 5 minutes. But the way the power, the lights dimming and the power humming to life, whatever this portal is drawing a lot of power. This is like wormhole level power being drawn. And if you guys remember, a certain faction stole the subspace comms relay from the alcove, but then also stole the quantum device that allows you to transport through dimensions. And I believe somebody might have told you, yeah, they're going to put it together and make a portal to bring reinforcements in. So that's pretty much what that's about. Ashlyn, if assuming she picks up on this, is once again disruptor out, just running towards the exit, towards that door at the back of the power room. Assuming the tricorder is within range, and you guys figure out, the transparent door, or the door becomes transparent, and she kind of just runs through it. Do you guys follow, I assume, or do you guys try to stop her?
Oh, Vosky is definitely down to follow, and Vosky's also going to assume, perhaps incorrectly, that there isn't just a single corridor with no doorways either side that goes straight to this particular room. There could be potentially multiple paths. So he's going, once we're through the door, he's going to use his tricorder to try and find the power cables, or the power cable equivalent, because if this thing's drawing a huge amount of power, he's going to follow the flow of the power so we don't get lost.
Okay.
Yep. Same as Lex. He's gonna go follow the power.
Okay.
And if Ashlyn looks like she's going down the wrong path, he will point it out. It's down this way.
So as soon as you get out of this power room, there's like a kind of like a, I don't know if corridor is the right way to describe it. It's more like a big chamber that leads to another chamber. And at the ends, like to the left and the right, there are corridors that go to different directions. But at the end of this chamber is like a massive arch. And you can clearly see, like, within it, stuff going on. Like, the power is going directly to that. As you approach the large chamber, you see a dais in the center of the room. Plugged into it are 2 pieces of technology, one Klingon and one ancient and unknown to you. Well, of unknown origin. You guys have seen it. A small tear in subspace begins to form above it. Shimmers of red and purple light lighting up the space over the dais. About a dozen figures standing before it, awash in its glow. About a dozen figures stand before it, awash in its glow. Control stations line the walls to the left and the right, predominantly manned by Romulans, humans, and Breen. Do you guys enter this larger chamber? Ashlyn is, unless you stop her.
I would be, just to go and turn off the Klingon.
Yeah.
And try and turn it off.
Okay.
I suppose you're going to have to deal with at least a dozen people, and then also the scientific aid. Like, talk your way through it, because I'm guessing they're going to stop you.
It's either going to be, I'll go ahead and tell you, it's either going to be combat or social conflict, depending on how roles go. So, also depending on what Ashlyn does. So that's why I'm asking you if you guys just want to charge in with her, or if you want to try to slow her down, stop her, etc.
I'm going to try and slow her down, and guess we do this slowly. Like, think of it. Yeah.
Okay. I'll go ahead, since you're empathic, I'll go ahead and tell you that you guys have, I mean, you probably served with her for a while, since you both are Remans, or half Remans, or part Remans. I would say that you could tell this is probably the first time in a while that she's actually been really terrified. And she gets to the doorway, but she kind of steps to the side of it, like she's, got her disruptor up. She's not like barging in just yet, but she does step to the side with Lex, and she looks to you and she says, "Colonel," and I've been having her do all the leading, but you're a colonel, you should have done it. But she says, "Colonel, we must go in, and we must eliminate that device no matter what. It could open untold amounts of reality wormholes and cause reality itself to sink in on itself. We must disable that device no matter the cost, even at our own lives."
I know. That's why we need to think of a strategy to go into there.
Let me just check something real quick. Okay. Make a presence and command roll. Difficulty is 2. And as you do that, you guys hear another mechanical voice above you say, "4 intervals until portal activation."
Yeah, I'm going to use a momentum. I forgot to tell you.
Okay, that's fine. So you're down to 2. That will bring you back up to 3. So yeah. Basically, she nods and says, "Okay. Normally, when any kind of subspace, weird, black hole, singularity kind of thing is developed, is created, it has a suction to it. If we fire at the Klingon device, it's probably just going to draw our energy into the vortex. It's probably not going to really do anything to it. We need to get close enough to where we can destroy the devices without risking losing whatever energy we throw at it into this vortex."
I agree.
But how do we get close to it when there's so many people in there?
Either we talk our way through, or we come up with a way to knock majority of them out.
She kind of chuckles and says, "If Shamar was here, we'd have brought some grenades."
Yeah.
But no, I assume nobody brought grenades. I didn't bring grenades, she says.
No.
Nope.
Husky's thinking create some kind of device, because this subspace tear is going to be incredibly finely balanced in terms of maths and engineering and science that goes into it. So we could, in theory, throw something in there that just causes it to collapse, It will, however, be somewhat uncontrolled, which is not necessarily something you want to do with subspace.
You know what?
But it might.
If somebody wants to make an insight science or insight engineering roll, I can give you more information about the specifics of what would happen if you threw some kind of device into a singularity. At
I
least this
definitely want to do that.
Okay.
What's the difficulty?
I'll say
difficulty 2.
science should do that.
Uh,
I suggest science do it as science roll.
Well, you would get different information. So the science would get purely the science. Engineering would get like the mechanics or the mechanical devices that's physically setting up this portal. Oh wow. Okay. So yeah, you definitely get momentum from that. So obviously it depends on what kind of portal this is. Like if you just throw something into like a normal black hole, it's just going to suck it in. It's not going to disable it or anything like that. If you do have some kind of device, and again, this is where the engineering role would come in handy, but if you did have some devices that had to be fine-tuned in such a way that if something happened, it would destabilize it enough to collapse it, I'll go ahead and tell you that based on what you're seeing and what your tricorder is telling you, that is probably the case. Like, if anything happened to either one of these 3 devices, even the dais itself, if let's say the dais could, go up and down, if you could lower it or raise it and whatever, if it went up like an inch or down like an inch, it would destabilize it. But I will also tell you that may not be a good thing. You could destabilize it to the point where it just explodes and you all get sucked into another universe. That sounds familiar. So,
I'm guessing the several sort of Romulan and so forth officers who were manning control consoles. Those control consoles appear related to the function of this portal.
That'll be an engineering roll, I think.
And I do an engineering roll for the.
Well, yeah, I said to do an engineering roll. Do you want to spend momentum?
Yeah, I'm doing an insight engineering to see have a look at the mechanic of how they've actually constructed the 3 pieces.
And if you get 3 successes instead of just 2, I will tell you also what the consoles and everything do along the walls. Which some of the consoles do look jury-rigged. Like, some Romulan decided to stick a Romulan console into an ancient Iconian device, and it's like flickering and not really working correctly. But most of them are Iconian in nature. So I'm gonna
spend one momentum and 2 threat.
Ooh. So much threat to spend later. I haven't spent any threat yet. I really need to do that. Especially now.
5.
Alright, what's that do for your momentum?
Takes it up to 5.
5, yep. Alright, so number 1. The Klingon device is probably the most finicky of all of it. Like, if you blow on it slightly and it is misaligned, you probably will destroy the planet. So if you do anything with that, you can't just go over and kick it or throw a grenade at it. Like, you have to physically go over there and finagle with it. That'll take a while. That'll take a lot of effort and all that good stuff. It's up to you if you want to do it. The quantum device, which kind of resembles like an ancient tablet melded with like some sort of high-tech device, which kind of resembles like it's part Iconian and part of some other species. That is still kind of a mystery to you, because all you know is that holding it causes things to change. So whatever they're doing to it now is causing something even bigger. So it might be super finicky, just like the Klingon device, or it might just need to be in the presence of this device. But it looks like they're both plugged into this dais. So the dais is what's providing the power. I'll give you that much. That's easy. The consoles are more observational. Like they're trying to see how much power they're being used. They're trying to see some of them are security consoles that are not working because you guys disabled the security protocols back when you first came in. They're like, why is our cameras not working in section 3? Like stuff like that. Like most of it is just traditional analysis and observation. There really isn't any we're going to manipulate the flow of the plasma here into this power. Like, it looks like they just plugged it all together, did some finicky stuff with the Klingon device, and then this is what happened. So that's your information that you get for that. If you want any more information, you can spend momentum to obtain it.
Okay, so the best bet is you first, Mac.
He would tell you what we're faced with the device. He'd be like, yeah, if we hit the Klingon one, it's gonna go send the whole planet into a boom. So I think it's yeah. Any ideas?
3 portals, or 3 intervals until portal activation.
So I got. Volsky thinks that interfacing with the Klingon device is still probably our best bet, because whilst it's the most finity, it's also the one that we understand
Exactly.
and potentially interface with.
Yeah.
The other ones we're just kind of poking randomly and seeing what happens. So we've got to get to the Klingon device. We need to either attack, knock them all out, or distract people, and we need to get at least Volsky, ideally Volsky and Lex, to the Klingon device. It doesn't matter if it's mid-combat, so they can start doing rolls. Volsky will be useless on the way there, but if you can get him there, he's very useful.
Okay, he's hoping like that idea, Ashlyn?
She says, I don't like the idea of defending people that are kneeling down by a device because they can't defend themselves, but if that's the only way that we can get this thing done, then I don't see any other options.
Because once we get the Klingon one down, it shouldn't be a big of enough problem.
Yeah. Alright. I guess we go in there and 2 of you head to the device. The rest of us fight all these people. Or me and Lex can try to talk them down and distract them while... and I only say Lex because he's a colonel. What's Lex's presence again? 9.
It's a 9.
And command 3. Yeah, I mean, Lex is also useful for, diplomacy. I don't know. It's rough. It's a rough decision.
Put it this way, I'm assuming him and Ashlyn are wearing Romulan gear.
They're both Romulan, yeah. Romulan Republic. She's former Tal Shiar.
He's still in Tal Shiar.
Oh, yeah. Okay. She says, yeah, we could probably do it by kind of claiming that we're Romulan augments like the others, and then trying to get them to stop what they're doing. I mean, it should be really easy to convince them that what they're doing is super dangerous and could kill them all.
Who's our highest ranking officer in the room?
The bad guys, or for you guys?
See? For them.
It's hard to tell. It looks like the guy who's giving... The 2 people that are giving the most orders are one of the Breen officers and another human teen clone. Everyone else seems to be following orders.
He looks at Ashlyn. Looks like Breen and one of those teens are in the room.
Yeah, I don't know if that means it's going to be easier or harder to deal with. But
I think it's going to be harder.
I have an idea, if I might interject.
Of course.
So, how about we send a couple people back to the shuttlecraft and possibly use some of our thruster mechanisms to probably blow the place up. I mean,
Someone,
we got 2 shuttlecrafts out there. We got a shuttlecraft and the other one.
yeah. I need
That's
you
the.
and Lex to
We've
roll.
got 3 minutes, right?
Yeah, I need.
Until it's activated.
Well, yeah. In that case, you guys wouldn't need to roll. You guys know that by the time y'all got to the exit, it would have already been activated. Even if you
Yeah.
transport back, the likelihood of you guys getting it all lined up perfectly would be highly unlikely. So,
Useless, and he would turn around and say, even regardless if we try to blow up this place, we'll end up blowing up the planet and ourselves at the same time.
all right. I need everyone to make another insight security roll. This time it's going to be contested, and I'm rolling secretly.
I'm not going to consume momentum for this one. I need to save it for other.
Alright, so he's 1. Oof. He's 1.
And yes, I do have to tell. You
Critical
something
success.
to remember.
Critical success and a critical fail.
Oh, nice. I actually literally just got the same thing for an enemy.
I
There's momentum if you
am.
wanted to buy that off, but
Yeah, I'll use the momentum to try to buy it off.
Well, it's either
I-
1 momentum to re-roll the fail or 2 momentum to guarantee a successful buy-off.
I'll just re-roll. I like taking chances. And it paid off. I got a 4.
Alright. What'd I say? Difficulty 3, right?
You said difficulty opposed.
Opposed, that's right. Okay. So
Yeah.
everybody who got... So I'll tell you for Lex first. And Lex and Tali, you got 2 successes, right? If I remember correctly.
3. I got a critical success, and then I re-rolled, and I got a success.
Okay. So Veth first notices this Breen officer start walking towards you cautiously as if he's seen or heard something. And then Lex notices, I think it was Lex, yeah, Lex, you notice this creature, actually both of you, Tali and Lex, notice this creature, the furball looking thing, go behind like a random pillar or something, and when he comes out, he no longer looks like a furball. He looks like another teen. Another teenage angst. And he also begins walking towards you. And what was you going to say, Mac?
I have. Danger can come from any quarter. You can not be caught off guard.
Right.
I'm wary.
Yeah, so you notice that they know that they know something is up and they're going to investigate. So now y'all need to figure out what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
I say that.
Move.
Yeah, okay. So I said that, activate your talking plan. Bear in mind they might be willing to die. And yeah, just use that to try and get us close.
Okay? So Ashlyn and Lex. Lex, are you following Ashlyn inside?
Yep.
Alright, so you two enter. She keeps her weapon in her hand, but it's down so that, they don't just automatically start shooting. And she says something to the effect of, Romulan Ken, what are you doing? Don't you know this could kill us all? Lex, how do you want to assist? Or do you want to actually...
Lex...
What's... Oh yeah, I already know what your presence and command is. I need to look at hers. But yeah, go ahead and roleplay.
Basically, Lex says, even if you set this up correctly, you're bound to let it overheat and drain all the power to it, which in effect will end up making the cascading effect of blowing up the whole damn planet.
So you can use, because you did that, I'm going to let you use engineering instead of command, because I know your engineering's higher. So she's going to roll, but you still have to just assist. Do you guys want her to spend any momentum? I say
Yes.
she should at least spend one.
Yeah.
'Cause
What's the...
it's going to be contested, and it's going to be it's actually, so yeah, it's going to be contested because you're dealing with multiple factions in this room, so.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Oh, 2 successes. So do you guys want to just spend 2 to get rid of it, or do you want to spend 1 to re-roll it?
I say one roll. Reach the stars. Get more points. Successes.
Alright, complication range increased to 3. Let's see what happens. Alright, she got it. 3 successes, so now I've got to roll for the guy in charge. Well, actually, 2 guys in charge. 2 successes versus 3, and 2 successes versus 3. So, I'll go ahead and tell you that they are paused in what they're doing. The 2 guys coming towards you stop. However, they're not entirely convinced. This guy comes forward. And you hear the mechanical voice overhead again say, 2 intervals until portal activation. And he says, "Who are you? What do you want?"
You can clearly look like Romans.
Yes, but you can't be the only ones here. And besides, the Romulan government wants this as much as anybody. So let us finish our job. And he just turns around and heads back towards like a random console.
I look at Ashlyn and go,
She says, she whispers to you like, "That's a lie," and then she yells back to the guy and to the others, and she says, "Nothing you do here is going to work. If we get into a firefight and somebody happens to accidentally fire at that device, it could cause, like the engineer here said, either a cascading failure or just cause it to fail altogether, and then we just die for nothing."
boom.
Did you say boom?
He goes, if one of us hits those devices over there in the firefight, boom, everyone dies.
For the guy here kind of glances over to these 2. Seems like these 3 are probably like the leaders-ish, if there is any. And then, actually, I'm going to spend another threat to have somebody else enter that I should have had here to begin with. Where is he? Oh, there it is. So then you see coming from around a corridor or around a column, the Sataran, or a Sataran. Obviously, you don't know if it's the same one because they all look like that. And he just smiles and then morphs, or changes, I should say. And he decides he is going to look like Ashlyn. And then he's just gonna yell.
Hell.
He's just gonna yell, "Kill them all!" And who's going first?
I'm gonna shoot the he knows he's gonna take a risk at this.
You're gonna try to shoot it?
He's gonna shoot at instead of the Klingon one, he's gonna shoot at the other one.
Oh, the quantum device? Yeah, okay. And I will also tell you, if you shoot at the pedestal or the dais and you manage to actually destroy it, it will cause an explosion. Like, you'll shut down the portal, but you'll all probably die as well. So just so you know that. And if you get a complication and you fail, that's what's going to happen. So make a control and security roll. Because you're aiming, it's difficulty 3 instead of 2. That's you're aiming at something specific. I also suggest you take the minor action of aim. That way you can re-roll.
Yeah.
I don't.
I'm
remember...
gonna take the minor.
Okay. I don't remember
What?
if it's re-roll 1 dice or all dice. I think it's just 1 dice.
He's gonna take the minor action to aim.
Okay.
And I want to give you threat.
Okay.
And I'm gonna roll to see.
How many threat? 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Can I? Yeah, I want to re-roll that one.
Okay.
Difficulty 3.
Let's see what you get. Would be interesting if you managed to. Oh, okay. So you hit the Iconian thing, and when you hit the Iconian thing, the energy from the phaser kind of, it looks like it's about to hit the Iconian, or I shouldn't say Iconian. You aren't 100% sure it's Iconian, but the ancient quantum device, the energy beam then kind of shoots up as if it's heading into the vortex, and then it shoots back down at the device, and the device absorbs the energy, and then the portal becomes more powerful and bigger. Red and purple lightnings begin striking all around the portal. So you've successfully hit it, but straight up energy fire is not going to disable that thing.
So who's around closer to the portal?
The closest person to the portal is him. Like, he's standing. He's not even afraid of getting hit by the lightning. He's just standing right there. The next one is probably the Breen, and then the other guy.
Yeah, the point is, I was aiming to see if it actually absorbs to create some kind of energy around it to yeah.
Now the device just used the energy, so I think someone is going to go next. I'm going to have Ashlyn run up to here, and then yeah, I'm just going to have her move for now. Okay, so this Ashlyn is actually going to go next because she needs to shoot somebody. She's going to shoot him. Just because he's there. She doesn't know who or what he is. She doesn't care.
One thing I'd just like to clarify about the map and the 2 devices. I'm assuming one, the Klingon device and the potentially Iconian device. I'm assuming one's on the left of the portal and the other's on the right of the portal?
No, this is from the actual game. The device itself I made up. So let's see. I'll kind of draw what it looks like.
Yeah, the reason why I'm asking is if we're going to try and fight our way towards the Klingon one, I just need to know where it is. So
I'll say it's like 3 zones away, so like each turn you can move closer and closer towards it.
Okay.
But that didn't work out. Okay. So this is the kind of the dais. It's not perfectly square, but you know, whatever. And then say this is the big ass portal that's being created, and then the 2 devices are like here and here. But anyway, yeah, so you guys are making your way towards it, and I've forgotten who's... Oh yeah, she's gonna shoot him. So let me find character sheet. Firing. She hits him. Alright. And they're gonna roll some damage. He's a Tane, so he doesn't have that much stress. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Basically, the disruptor beam hits him in the gut. He crumples to his knees. He's not dead, but you can tell that if he doesn't get medical attention soon, he's probably going to be. Alright, who wants to go next? Oh, no, enemy's going next. Breen officer is going to fire at Veth just because Veth is the closest person to him at the moment. Breen officer. Where's Breen officer? Control sick. Gonna spend a threat to use 3 dice. 3 successes, so I get my threat back. I'll do some damage. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. You guys have 2 resistance, so you Tali, Lieutenant Veth takes 5 damage. He is injured. You can decide how he's injured, but he can't act next turn until he is tended to medically.
My kneecap got shot and I collapsed down to the ground.
Okay. Does anyone else want to, who else wants to go next? Maybe Angstrom wants to do some medical stuff.
Yeah, she'll just turn to Vosky and go. And then she's gonna go over to Veth and see what she can do.
Okay. So you go over and roll me a either control or, well, I think your highest one is control. So control and medicine. Difficulty, well, it's just gonna basically give him however many hit points back or stress back based on how many you get. And it's gonna remove the injured thing from him.
Okay, I think this came up back in like one of the first sessions, but there's the first response talent that I have on my sheet, and that says whenever attempting first aid tasks during combat, I would gain a bonus d20.
Okay.
But what I never remember is if this is first aid or something else.
Well, we can call it first aid. It's fine. I mean, yeah, I don't.
Okay. Alright, so I will roll 3 dice, I guess. No.
Okay.
without
Yeah, you're the
having to
first
spend them
person to
once
give him
before.
aid, so I'm calling it first aid.
Okay.
It's not like he's going to the hospital or anything. Alright. So yeah, you get 2 stress back, and now when it is your time to go, you can go. You basically, she's basically numbed the pain and made it so that, like, you might actually injure yourself more by walking, but for the moment, you're going to be able to get to sick bay so that they can fix that leg. So that's pretty much what you want to happen. So so let's see, Angstrom went. Lex hasn't gone already, has he? I don't think he has.
Didn't Lex attempt to shoot the thing?
Okay, Lex.
Yeah,
did.
That's shot.
All right, so Vosky will be next after this enemy. All right, so Breen went. I'm gonna have her move again closer. In case you guys haven't realized, we're gonna have a funny, which is the real Ashland scene in a minute. You guys hear another automated voice, 1 interval until portal activation. And just so you know, this portal that's quote-unquote being activated, like, you guys can see all this energy forming and growing and everything like that, but it hasn't fully activated. Like, it's not like, you'll know when it's activated, trust me. Like, you'll see other worlds and everything like that, basically like what you're seeing on the map. But so she's moving closer. Vosky, I believe you're up next.
Yeah, so Vosky's going to spend his turn being as close as will allow him the Klingon device. I think we established he can't do it in a single turn.
No.
And then with his minor action, he's going to seek cover, partly so he looks as unthreatening as possible and is a low target priority, but also it just gives him extra resistance in the event that he's hit.
Okay. Make a either control or fitness and con as you run forward and try to. You know what? I'll say con or security. Either one is fine. Try to.
Well, they're the same thing. But I'll do con for the giggles, and I'm not going to activate any of my fancy stuff.
Okay.
1.
Difficulty 1, yeah.
Alas, I have no applicable foci.
Oh.
Just.
So, you'll probably get there on your next turn. So that's you. So they went. So now this guy's gonna go. He is going to move forward, and he is going to fire. Actually, no, he's gonna fire at Vosky because he sees him trying to go for the thing. So let's get his disruptor out. Control of 7, security of 4. I will spend a threat because I have so much of it. And he hits. Let's see how much damage he does. Actually, you know what? I'll make it difficulty 3 because he is technically shooting through, like, Ashland and you're running and all this other stuff. So yeah, he misses. But you could tell, like, the disruptor beam is like an inch in front of your face. Like, he almost hit you. Like, you basically did that thing where you stopped really quickly, and if you hadn't stopped, you would have been shot. Alright, so Lex, your turn again.
Yeah, he doesn't like this person who's coming up to try and trick the whole team to think he's the real Ashlyn. So he's going to shoot that person.
Alright, control security, difficulty... I'm going to say difficulty 3 because you are shooting between Vosky, who just ran past you, and these two who are kind of kneeling in front of you. And she is moving towards you at a decent amount of speed, so difficulty 3.
Yeah, I'm going to,
You know what?
I'm going to use a momentum.
Alright, I'm going to spend a threat to increase the complication range to 2, because if you did accidentally shoot someone else, that would be kind of funny to me.
And I'm going to, spend 2 threat.
Okay.
Or 2 dice.
Okay. Whoa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so you definitely get 2 momentum back, and you shoot her. Roll your damage dice. You shoot her square in the chest. Okay, I gotta remember now. She is the Sataran. Gotta remember that, because I might actually get them confused. So I'm gonna do that, and then won't change it until they actually get close. And he is the Elasomorph. Or whatever you want to call him. Alright. Did you roll damage? Yeah, you did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But, and it's a disruptor, right? Okay. So, you shoot her. The beam is just like full on her chest for a good like 7 seconds. She like forces herself to move forward, and you start to see like her skin and her uniform start to peel apart as the inside, once again, the insides of her body start to be displayed, and she's just like forcing herself through the disruptor beam that's keeping her more or less in one position. She's not dead yet, but she is injured, and one more hit like that would probably kill her, or at least take her out of the game. So
elbow Ashlyn while I'm doing this.
Alright, well, she took him down, more or less, so she is going to pause. So she's not going to take the shot yet, I don't think.
I mean, Engstrom could just kind of pull Veth down, kind of looking back on, oh no.
Actually, you know what? On her next turn, she's going to move over here anyway, so I'll just have her... And none of this is, like, to scale, obviously, so we'll just say she kind of is running past you two as she's pointing her weapon at her. Alright, and then I'll just have her go ahead and roll.
At least, Lex can tell the difference now?
Oh, you... Not in a minute.
What if they regen? Oh no.
Oh. Speaking of which, let me go ahead and remove this. As she fires, her disruptor explodes, and all you see is smoke and lights. And after, like, I don't know, a couple of seconds, they're both just rolling on the floor, punching each other, and you don't know which is which. And no, the tokens do not represent which is which. I'm actually writing down which is which. So you guys will have to guess. Alright.
Because Lex...
Well, Lex is already gone.
I'll wait till Lex's...
Yeah, so just keep...
Yeah, I'll wait till Lex's next time.
Alright, Veth, you're up. You've just been more or less healed, at least for now. What do you want to do?
Well, am I still, like, injured and I can't walk? Or no. I thought that...
The medical officer took away your injury, so basically, like, you're still in pain, and you still, it's gonna be a limp, but you can move around and take actions now.
I would like to try to get behind something and start firing, if at all possible.
Okay, I'm gonna just move you over here for my own clarification's sake. I'm gonna write cover on your thing so I remember you have cover. Okay, roll control and security. Difficulty 2. And I'm just going to say, because you're in this general vicinity, the Klingon that's moving towards you is who you're firing at.
All right. Do we have momentum still?
If I
Yeah,
remember.
we've got 4. Please don't use all of it.
No, I'm just going to use one.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad I used one because I got a critical fail and a critical success.
Wow.
Just give me 1 second. And I got a 2.
Okay. So you have 3 successes, so you guys get a momentum back. Do you want to get rid of that complication with some momentum, or?
And on that, do you have any of the cautious talents?
I don't think so. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, I have cautious con, but I don't think that applies.
No, cautious security would, but not cautious con. Okay, cool.
So yeah, I'll give you threat to reroll.
Yeah, you guys spend a momentum to reroll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go take us back down to 3. We can work with that.
All right. Cool. I got an 8.
All right. So that gives you your momentum back. So, oh no, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember what you got. Does anyone remember? I think it was 3 successes. Yeah, 4 successes.
I got a critical.
Yeah.
I got a critical success and a critical fail, and then I re-rolled for the success.
So that should be 3
He,
successes.
3 success.
he also rolled
Yeah.
rolled 3 dice. You also
Yeah.
rolled a conventional success.
Okay, so that's 4
So
successes.
that you have now rolled a total of 4 successes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Assumed
what
momentum,
Edgeworth said.
re-roll. It takes us back up to 4.
All right. So you have hit the Klingon. Go ahead and roll. Now I think it's 66, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me know what they are.
Give me a second. 2, 4, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, nothing. 3, 3, 4, 5. So you get 5 successes. You shoot the Klingon with your phaser. He staggers back dazed and collapses against like a pillar. He's not unconscious because he did have armor on and he's not injured, but he is for the moment kind of trying to recover, and he's still going to be able to act next game, but movement will probably be most of his action because he didn't even have his weapon drawn, so he'll at least need to move and draw his weapon before he can attack. So let's see, Veth went, so now, you know what, since he didn't go last time, I'm just going to have him get up, kind of staggered the Klingon, and draw his weapon, but he won't be able to actually fire until his next turn. Alright, so now it's either going to be Engstrom or Vosky, if I remember correctly.
Yep, we're the only 2 left to go. I think Engstrom... Polsky's action is just going to be to get there, so I don't know if Engstrom's got something fancy to set up.
Not really. It's probably going to be just about the same. We'll just follow Vosky.
Alright, control security for Vosky. Sorry, control con. Whatever it is you used last time to run.
Yeah. Difficulty 1 again?
Yep. As long as you don't, get shot or get tripped or anything like that. Yeah, no complications.
No, it's a different scene. This is incredibly important. And my future roles are going to be science. So yeah, I'll take control con. I'll activate did the reading. I read some physical fitness books, and as a result of which turn it into a control science roll.
That makes sense, actually. Go ahead. Yeah.
But I will not consume them. Okay, well, I had to consume 1 momentum to do that, but that takes it back up to 4. So yeah, cool.
I did forget the
That was
interval thing
successful.
earlier, but I'm just going to say that as you get there, it begins its activation process. Whether or not you are able to shut it down before it's fully activated is, a whole different thing that I'll basically have you roll on your next turn, and if you don't succeed, then it will completely activate, and if you do succeed, then basically everything is just shut down, and that'll be it. That'll be that.
Fantastic. If I'm not going to have enough time to start doing that work this round, then I'll use the miner to, again, seek more cover to make me harder to hit, tougher, etc.
Okay, let me put that in there because I don't want to forget that you have cover. Alright, so I probably still will, but so Angstrom, what are you up? Oh no, I gotta do enemy. I'm just gonna say this Romulan. No, he's busy actually. This Mariposan moves towards Veth. Now, Angstrom, what are you up to?
Let's see. So watching two people who look exactly like each other slug it out.
Yeah.
A countdown sequence is pretty much over, and presumably Vosky can figure it out, but it might be good to have a second set of hands regardless. So she's going to follow in Vosky's wake.
All right.
Yeah. Hopefully she's not going to get shot in the middle of that.
Okay. Fitness or control and con. If you have something that lets you use medicine, that's cool too.
You do realize that Vosky's going to get shot and you're going to have to do it.
Like in all those shows and movies where you have to sacrifice one person at the end.
I'm going to consume one momentum just for that running.
Okay.
Because my con is a little bit weak.
Put it this way, Lex will just talk you through it.
You're not even near them yet.
I mean, Angstrom's science is a 4, so she's not like completely incompetent, but yeah, we'll see. She's just not very good on her feet apparently.
You did actually. You made it halfway there, so on your next turn you'll be able to get there. So that's I think the end of you guys, or the end of you guys, the end for you guys. So I'm gonna have an enemy move. I'm gonna have the Klingon fire at Veth. Where's the Klingon? There it is.
Just a quick note is I'm gonna pull one of my commendations to get some bonus momentum for succeeding at a task.
Okay.
Oh, excellent. How much?
Well, okay, is it personal momentum or bonus? It'll be 2 either way.
Wow, I got 2 20s.
I'll put it in brackets for the moment.
And I was in cover.
Yeah, well, he got 2 complications, so he's dead. His disruptor exploded in his face, and he's dead. I'm not even gonna arbitrate that. I'm just gonna say he's dead. All right, so back to Lex. What are you doing?
Might I interrupt?
Sure.
I think we don't have to keep acting in the same initiative order. We can change our order when the rounds.
I mean, yeah,
round.
You can.
Is that correct?
Yeah, you can. If you want to go ahead first, then be my guest.
I mean, I'll put it to the rest of the group, but I would recommend to the group that Vosky go next to minimize the number of opportunities they have to shoot him.
Good idea.
Agreed.
Okay.
Okay, all right. In that case, yeah, Vosky is going to manipulate the Klingon device, which is the one we understand,
and that is
to try and shut all this down safely.
And that is going to be a control, or what's higher, control, insight, or reason? You can use any of those, but it's definitely going to be engineering.
Reason.
Okay,
all right, that's fine.
Actually, you know what? You're going to use daring because of the situation you're in. Sorry, daring engineering. You're like literally have disruptor
beams. That is a bit miffy.
Not really. I've seen it done a million times. I've done it myself. You're in a daring situation. Now, if you have something like a talent that lets you change it, like you have for the other things, then that's fine. But otherwise, it's daring engineering. In fact, I've just gone from rolling off my.
I've just gone from rolling off my best stat to rolling off my worst stat. Okay.
And the difficulty.
See. Well, first of all, tell me.
Yeah. The difficulty is going. I'm gonna say 4, and I'm increasing the complication range to 5 with all my threat.
Okay, so complication range 5, difficulty 4. Since this is an engineering roll, I can consume 1 momentum, taking it to 3-1, to activate Did the Reading once more, which will turn it into a science roll. I have been interfacing with this thing before and scanning it, therefore I will activate Theory into Practice and Testing a Theory, which will take the difficulty down, the difficulty down from 4 to 3 and give me an extra dice to roll.
Nice.
I will then, since I'm assuming this is like the big key moment, I will activate activate my value. The forces of universe can be controlled.
the perfect one for this.
Yes, the forces of the universe can be controlled to give myself 2 automatic successes. So I'm rolling 3 dice, and I only need 1 success. I will also use momentum to purchase 1 additional dice, so I'm rolling 4, but that also gives me the cautious rerolls. Okay, here we go.
Ooh.
Okay, that's fantastic. I will re-roll 1 of those crits with cautious. That's unfortunate. I will activate the Légion d'honneur commendation to get rid of a complication. And yeah, that's about it.
You don't want to re-roll the other one with a momentum? Oh no, you already.
Oh yeah, okay. If I can do
Yeah,
if I can do both of them, I will, and then I'll just re-roll whichever one. Yeah.
Well, you could. Didn't you use something else to re-roll that first one, or no?
I used cautious. You are correct.
Yeah, so you can
so
use a
yeah,
momentum.
I'll re-roll.
Just increase the. Well, the complication range stays the same because it's 5. So.
Actually, no. This is too important. I'll buy it off with 2.
Okay.
Because the complication range is so high. So that will take us down to 2 momentum. However, it was then. Let's see. 2 successes, I only needed 1, so that takes us to 3 momentum. 3 momentum, no complications, successful.
Yep. Well, no complications. I thought you still had the 1 because you failed on the other one, remember?
I
Legion of Honor.
bought one of them
that's
off
right.
with 2,
Okay.
and then I used the Légion d'honneur, Legion of Honor,
Fair enough.
which allows me to just ignore a complication.
Cool.
So, I used every talent,
Yes.
value,
that
and a
was-
commendation.
You always make the best mechanical characters. Like, everyone's like, oh, I have the greatest roleplay character, but like mechanically, your characters are always so fun to watch when you roleplay as them because it's like a whatever your job is, science, engineering, security, you're the god of that. But that being said, you successfully tinker with this device, effectively. Removing or causing the portal to begin to fluctuate and shut down. At this point, hold on, let me just check something real quick. Oh yeah, so everyone just stops. Whoever's alive, whoever's conscious, the bad guys even, they just stop. These 2 Ashlands stop rolling around and stare at the portal as it begins to fluctuate. The red and purple light of the dimensional vortex dissipates to reveal a sinister black void filled with hostile, robed alien creatures, their lobster-like claws clicking, their dead black eyes glaring. And I'm going to show you what they look like. Some of you probably already know what I'm talking about. But the image shifted to another realm. This one showed the lifeless landscape of craggy stones and an ocean that boiled away long ago. Dozens of vile, parasitic mother creatures trying to flee from their inhospitable world. And I will show you I'm sure most of you remember the neuroparasites from the previous game and from the show. The third invasive species depicted was the Lovecraftian Kelvin Empire, dying from radiation that was slowly destroying the Andromeda Galaxy. And I will show you what that guy looks like. The image is to scale, so basically those 3 people there would be you guys, and that's what they look like, and that's their size. The final reality to flicker past was that of a universe in which hundreds of moon-sized dreadnoughts warred against meaty, tentacled leviathans. For a while, neither faction even took notice of the dimensional rift, but once they did, the entirety of both armadas, as if foregoing their vicious hatred for one another, for just a moment, turned their frightening bows to face the wormhole and engaged at full speed ahead. And I'll show you what that image looks like. And as this armada, or combined armada of hundreds of moon-sized dreadnoughts and tentacled leviathans begin moving towards the wormhole collapses in on itself thanks to the scientific and engineering ingenuity of Lieutenant Foskey, and everything is just normal now. There's no portal, and the quantum device is mysteriously gone.
On one or the Iconium?
The Iconian one is gone.
Okay, cool.
The other one is like kind of damaged because, you know, electricity shooting out, but and it probably won't work again, but it's still like physically there.
Well, that is the entirety of Vosky's round, other than continuing to seek cover. Because everyone in this room who's now really hates him.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, I will let you guys have the first reaction to whatever you guys want to do. However, the enemies are just still staring at that spot. Like, they're not moving. They're not, like, catatonic or anything. It looks like they're just stunned at what they just witnessed and just avoided. And they're just staring at it. Like, mouths agape, eyes wide. And then after a while, they're looking back and forth between each other. Some of them are looking at hatred, or with hatred, at the teenagers and the Breen officer and the shapeshifters. Kind of a look of betrayal in their eyes. But if you guys want to do anything at this point, go right ahead.
Which one's Ashlyn?
Do you ask
My
them
character's
that?
gonna figure out which.
Or do you want to try to figure it out?
You-
Oh yeah,
you-
you got empathy, so you could probably figure it out with empathy.
Yeah.
So normally it would be, let's see, physically they're pretty much identical. However, the fake Ashlyn wouldn't be able to mimic
Emotions.
Memory. Well, in memories, the Satarans are bad at memory stuff, which is weird because they can erase people's memories at a distance, but they can't manufacture whatever the memories is of the other person. So, effectively, that's going to bring it down to 3, a difficulty of 3. But with your empathy, that's going to bring it down to a difficulty of 2. So go ahead and roll insight and command, difficulty of 2, to determine which one of these two is the real one. But you know what? I'm going to increase the complication range to 4 because I can.
And I am gonna give you 3 threat.
Oh, thanks. I'll use that next time. Ooh. But you got your 2. So the good news is you succeed in determining by her emotion. So the difference between the two emotionally is one of them has a lot of hate. The one on the right is like just wants to kill. The other one is basically like, I want to protect. And that's kind of the main difference between the two. However, you did get the complication, so I'm going to say, what would be a good complication? Unless you guys wanted to, do y'all have enough to buy off? You could buy off one.
Not enough.
You could buy off, you can re-roll all of them, or you can buy them off, buy one off and then re-roll for one.
I want to re-roll them.
Reroll all of them? Okay. Increase the
Re-roll
difficulty to 5
them?
and
Yeah.
reroll 3d20. Alright, so now you got 1. That makes it... But you got the 2 momentum now. So you want to buy that one off or reroll it?
Buy it off.
Alright, so you're down to 0 momentum, but you have no complications. I was gonna just have her morph into you and start fighting again. But yeah, no, you determined the one on the left is the real Ashlyn. Or is she? No, she is. I'm serious. But what do you want to do about that now that you know?
I'm gonna shoot the one on the right.
Are you just gonna start shooting again? Okay, well that changes everything. So I was gonna
No,
narrate something,
his-
but if you guys want to start shooting, we could go back to that.
We could have just.
They're literally
diplomatized
just
this.
standing there.
No.
They're not doing anything. They're just standing there. And then he just goes...
This is where you go, see, I told you this was a bad idea.
Alright, let me narrate this.
I'll run over it.
And then you can decide if you
Yeah.
want to kill any more people. Terrified, hopeless, the teenage boy that Dr. Engstrom had once treated the hybrid of 2 subspecies, the warring factions of Dalad 4, turned to the group, his eyes pleading. This one, as he like kind of recovers... Oh no, it's not this one, it's this one. He like walks up a little bit and he says, No, we have made a mistake. Our conquest of this galaxy is not worth this. Please, we are at your mercy. End this nightmare and save us all. Do you still want to shoot people?
No, he won't.
Okay. What do you guys want to do with the devices? You've effectively captured them. What do you want to do with all the devices?
I'm assuming we'll be able to find storage containers, put them in very secure storage containers, and take them back for proper study under our control.
Okay.
I also like to think that Vosky has a strange little moment, because the past few seconds of his life have been running across more or less open terrain under fire to then go and potentially save the universe by disarming a device that could end the entire planet that he was on. And I like to think that he has that sort of reaction where he was incredibly emotionally calm and controlled whilst that happened. But now the moment of crisis has passed. Like, the adrenaline starts flooding out of him, and his hands start shaking as the fear is catching up with him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God, what did I just do?
What did we just avoid?
I recommend to Vosky, put them all three in different containers. So yeah.
All right. So what about the individuals? You can arrest them. You can let some go. You can shoot them if you want. What do you want to do with or do you want to just detain them all and let Starfleet security handle it?
Detain them all and let Starfleet security handle it all.
Okay.
Even the ones who didn't do anything criminal are going to be questioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just be aware.
Regardless.
Sorry, go ahead, Mac.
Regardless, he has more for Starfleet to figure out who's reliable to actually go back into Starfleet or the Romulan Republic.
And what did you want to say, Engstrom?
Engstrom will just kind of mutter, just remember that this one's an elastomorph, so keep him under close guard.
Oh yeah, he'll
shift into a different form.
He'll morph back to his natural form, which is apparently what are those things called? Furling. But anyway, yeah, he'll morph back and stay that way. This guy is not elastomorph. He is a clone, but he's not an elastomorph, and he cannot shift into anything other than what he is. So when you guys scan him, that's what you determine. But all right, so you guys capture them all, take them back to the marathon, take them to some starbase, for security purposes, etc.
And I want to get if we find any spare boxes, I want to go back to that library and take all that. Yeah.
We could say an entire Starfleet science team is coming to this planet. Archaeology, freaking research, xenobiology, just everything. They're just gonna set up shop here. There's probably gonna be thousands of Starfleet and Federation civilian scientists just here doing work, similar to the other Iconian colonies. So, have we been doing throughout this?
Plus, we gave.
Sorry, go ahead.
Plus, he's going. We gave him an intact Iconian colony. Now they got nothing to complain about.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna say everyone's gonna get 10 reputation because I think everyone did great in this session. As far as milestones, if you were injured, which I know Veth was, I don't remember who else was, but if you were injured, or if you used a determination, which I know Vosky did, I don't remember if anyone else did, then you get a normal milestone. So let's see, Veth, Vosky, and who else? Just so I know, because there's something else I want to do, but I got to know who gets the normal milestone.
Lex, did you use or challenge the determination?
Yes.
Use? Okay, so Lex.
Yes.
And Engstrom didn't?
Engstrom didn't do much in this episode. That's kind of a medical officer thing, I'm just realizing.
It just depends on, the campaign and all that good stuff. It just depends. I mean...
No, it just matters on whether or not she gets separated from the whole team, halfway through. That's pretty much what happened last Star Beyond.
So, I'm going to say that instead of getting just a normal milestone, you three are going to get a spotlight milestone. Engstrom will get a normal milestone, and then we're gonna vote and see who should get the arc milestone. Basically, for the arc milestone, I want it to be someone that has had an impact over the overall arc of the story rather than just this session. So I'll just go down the list, and you can make your vote. Mac, who do you vote for? I know you can't vote for yourself.
I know. Trying to remember overall.
Yeah, and since you can also vote for Rakta or Shaymar, or I can't remember who else. I guess Karava. You can't vote for Baines because Baines isn't here, so Baines, it'll be a waste on Baines. So
I don't know. That's the problem. I don't know.
okay.
I have a vote.
Okay, Tolly, go ahead.
Okay.
I vote Edgeford because he used all of his stuff today.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, dude!
And this
Like,
isn't the first
seriously.
time. He uses that stuff like a lot. He just goes down the list. But yeah, Edgeford, who do you vote for?
Well, I was going to vote for Baines until he said no.
Sorry, it's not here.
In that, yeah, exactly. In that case, I'm just thinking about people who've had like the most personality-related stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a toss-up between, in my mind, Lex and Engstrom.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could also vote for Engstrom, even though Engstrom isn't getting a spotlight, only getting a
Getting a spotlight. Of those two, chiefly for the earlier stuff in the campaign, I think Engstrom just clinches it.
Okay, so we got one for Vosky, one's for Engstrom, and Mac, have you figured out who yet?
No.
All right.
Cause I know, yeah, I can't choose between both of them.
Well, you can choose
That's the
Beth,
problem.
and then it'll just be a stalemate. Engstrom, who do you vote for? Or yeah.
I feel like Vosky's kind of especially just in this episode, it's like I feel like there's been a very big shift in Vosky's approach to life after this.
Yeah.
So
Especially after that last session on Mariposa, where he was like, get the research instead of the
well, yeah,
kids.
you found a virus and just saved us like a bunch of problems.
Yeah. So Lex, do you want to vote for Engstrom and then put it at a tie again, or do you want to vote for?
Yeah.
Oh God. So you're gonna make me decide between the two? I can't decide between my two favorite kids. Just kidding. I
Hang
love,
on. Flip a
go
coin.
ahead. What was that?
Flip a coin. Flip a coin. If
Yeah.
it's like that, flip a coin. That's always the best.
You know what? Fuck it. It's
way
the
to
last.
do it.
It's the literal last session. I'm giving both of them arc milestones instead of spotlight or normal milestone. There. How about that? I could do that because I'm.
Hooray!
Technically, they both did go through a crazy arc, and both of them got their memories back from like previous universes, and then did amazing stuff. Like I think both of them should get it.
Yeah, 'cause, like I have ideas of what Engstrom's doing as we're walking out of here right now, but again, it's not like it's personal stuff, not quite related to the overall story.
Okay.
So
Oh, here's a weird thing with the sheet. I just attempted to type in arc milestone.
It won't let
I can
you.
edit normal and spotlight, but I can't
Yeah.
edit arc.
Just put it in the notes.
I'll just put that in
that's-
notes.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
whenever you get around to
That's
being to kind of figuring out what you want to do with it, then you can just do that instead of. And that's another question. So, I don't think any of the new players are here, but I would like if you guys do attend the next Star Beyond the Stars session or game, which may not be on Saturdays anymore. We'll see. But if you do, I would like you to make new characters, especially if the four of you do, because you guys have been playing those same characters for a while, and I think for the new players, it's kind of disconcerting. So I just would like new players if you intend to join the next one. But as for like the whole point of having reputation and milestones and stuff like that is to build them up. If you do want to include versions of them in the future, just let me know, and maybe we could do one shots with them, or maybe we can have them be met in another universe or something like that, so that it's not just basically getting rid of. Because Vosky and Engstrom and Lex especially, because you three, y'all's characters have been through some shit, and it seems like a waste to kind of just In fact, what I'm probably gonna do is I'll probably think about like promotions and stuff, especially for the two lieutenants.
Engstrom's too young to be promoted.
Oh, yeah,
That came up in the other Star Beyond game as well.
Well, maybe we'll fast forward 10 years or something. Either way.
And was it 10 reputation dice
Yeah, to roll.
Might as well.